Good morning to everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to simulate network address translation. Network address translation, it's nothing but, as the name implies, it is going to translate a private IP address into public IP address, right? So, for example, as we all know that IPv4 is capable of generating 2 power 32 IP addresses, right? So roughly it is 4 million IP addresses, and with this current demand, right, IPv4 will not able to survive, because all those we have three set of private IP addresses exist for working in and within the organization or else home network, anything it might be, but we have a certain number of public IP addresses which cannot be affordable for current demands, right? So that is why we need to go for this network address translation. What it does is, we have a private network, and if any of the network that needs to communicate to the outside world, it cannot be, because private addresses cannot be routed by the routers, right? So it can able to route only the public IP address. Public IP addresses are nothing but the IP address which is used in internet, right? Private addresses are only allowed to be used within the network. When you generate traffic that is going to communicate with the outside world, there you need a public IP address, right? So that is the purpose of network address translation, right? So for example, if I have this is a simple example. So if you have a one single, let's take your IRCTC server. So IRCTC server is capable of it is permitting only 2 tickets. For example, I'm in a network, right? I'm in a network and I'm going to book, for example, 2 PCs in the network is going to book a ticket during Tackle time in Tackle time of IRCTC. IRCTC service server will permit only one IP during Tackle period, right? It is allowed to book only 2 tickets per IP, right? When 2 persons are trying to book a ticket during Tackle time, so which request that goes first will be booked and the second request will be blocked. Why? Because whenever the data which goes out of your network, so it will be represented with the help of only one public IP, not 2 IPs, right? So both the request will be represented as a request from one single public IP, right? That is what network address translation, right? It is allowed to use, allowed to represent your data, represent your request in a public forum, right? So through public IP, right? So that is the importance of network address translation. That is why IPv4 is still surviving in the market, right? So without network address translation, IPv4 will be maybe obsolete 10 years before, right? Okay, let's go for a simulation so that you will have a better understanding of how network address translation works. So network address translation, under that we have 4 major categories: static NAT, dynamic NAT, and PAT, and also port forwarding, right? So in this simulation we are going to see only static network address translation. We are going to have a static network address translation. Let's go for a simulation of a small network. So I need a switch for connecting this device, and I need a router. I'll go for a 29.11.11 router, and I have one more router, and I need to have another switch, and I'm going to have an end device which is nothing but a server. Okay, and let's start connecting these devices. We'll have a serial connection between the routers. So for enabling your serial connection, you need to go for you need to switch off your router and click on this HWIC2T, enable the serial port and switch on your router. And in both the routers you need to do this: switch off your router, enable your serial port connection, and switch on your router. Now your routers are capable of having a serial connection within that. So serial 0 to serial 0. Yes, now connection is defined. Now define the IP addresses for these devices. Let's go for labeling. Let's take 192.168.0.1. So all these are private networks. 0.2, 0.3, and my internet gateway router is going to be 192.168.0.100. Is nothing with the gateway router IP, and go for representation of server IP. Here server is going to be public server 200.200.1, and the gateway router for this server is going to be it is going to be 100, right? So this is a public network and this is nothing but my private network, right? Okay, and let's start configuring the interfaces of routers. So this router, I'm going to have that which is 11.1.1, and I'm going to have this IP as 1.2, right? Okay, so let's configure the things in the respective PCs. IP1, the subnet mask. Let's go for default gateway as 100. Close this PC. Let's do it faster. 2 IP, subnet mask is 100. Third PC, IP is 3, subnet mask 100, sorry, default gateway 100. Okay, go for this end device, desktop 200.0.0.1, and default gateway is 200.0.0.100, right? So now I need to configure the router interfaces. The router, I think it is 00 gigabit 0, and here it is serial 2020, here also 0. So now router 0 gigabit 0 should be configured with 192, which is nothing but the gateway IP .0.100. Subnet mask port status should be enabled. Now serial interface 200, so it should be enabled with 11.1.1.1, and port statuses should be enabled. Let's move on to this router 0 gigabit Ethernet should be enabled with the IP address of 200.0.0.100, which is nothing but the gateway router of this server network or public network. Port status should be enabled, and the serial interface 11.1.1.2 port status. So right now completely configured all the IP addresses for all the interfaces. So fine, what needs to be done now is you need to have a you need to define the default route, right? So first we'll since it is of internet service provider, let's assume this. Let's draw a simple circle so that you will have a better understanding of this is a private network. This is a public network, right? So this private network here, this will act as the power gateway router, and this is going to perform this is enabled with NAT translation, right? So whatever the request that comes from this private these are all private addresses and these are all public addresses. whatever the request that comes from this network, this will be represented through another public IP, right? So let's see, right? This is nothing but the public network, right? Okay, what needs to be done is, since it is of a public network, it has to be configured with the default route to the internet service provider. So let's define the default route, IP route. So default route is going to be 0000. So whatever the data I am going to generate, it is going to reach the internet service provider. So internet service provider's interface is going to be 11.1.1.2, right? This interface is nothing but the default gateway the interface of internet service provider, right? So that's why the route was defined. What is the problem? Sorry, config mode conti. Now route can be defined. IP route 0.0.0.0 11.1.1.2. Yes, it accepts. And this is nothing but the this network is going to be this. We need to form a default route from this router to internet service provider, and we need to define a static route from this to this router to our own private network. Right now, static network needs to be defined. So define a static network. Exit IP route. Okay, let's go and define the static router here. What needs to be defined is okay, before that we'll perform the this is we'll be enabling this NAT things here. First what needs to be done is you need to enable the NAT inside and outside IP address. So int G00, this interface will act as the IP NAT inside. IP NAT inside. Okay, then go for the IP NAT outside. So which is nothing but the serial interface, right? So SE0/2/0. So this will act as a IP NAT outside, right? Okay, now it is ready. Now you need to configure the NAT things, right? So this is related to NAT, and what you are going to do is so here since it is of NAT static, so we have a fixed IP address for all the private IP addresses. For every individual private IP address, we have a respective public IP, right? So let's assume we have a pool of public IP addresses, and here I am going to use the pool of 50.0.0.1, and it starts from right with the base of 24, right? So that I can able to have 254 IP addresses, right? Okay, let's go for configuring that. IP NAT inside source static. So this is nothing but configuring your individual PC to public IP, right? 168.0.1 with 50.0.0.1. What is this? Is nothing but whatever the request that is generated by this PC, right? This is nothing but like table, right? NAT table, and what that NAT table consists of the mapping, right? This private IP address, whatever the data that is generated in this PC will be represented to the outside public network with this public IP, right? So that is the meaning. Okay, and similarly all the PCs needs to be configured. So 2 will be represented with this is I have a pool of public IP address. So 192.168.0.2 will be represented as 550.0.0.2, and similarly the third PC, you have as much number of PCs in your network, each has to be represented with different public IP, right? So now things has been done, right? So we have three PCs will have respective public IP. Actually, static NAT is it's not an it's not an advantage technique, because there will be a wastage of IPs, right? Because we have PAT and we have dynamic IPs, dynamic public IP, dynamic NAT, whereas static NAT, the same IP is going to be used for even this system may be ideal, this public IP will not be used, right? So always this public IP is going to be used for individual PCs, right? So now I think we have done with all the things. So what we have done is we have defined a default route from this router to ISP router, and we have done a static route from this router to this router, right? So whatever the data that is generated here, it is going to be performed, it is going to be translated into a public IP through this router. We have enabled all those things here. What needs to be defined is this interface is defined as inside local, right? So which is inside IP NAT inside, and this is defined as IP NAT outside, which is nothing but the inside local. This is inside local and this is inside global, and we don't want to define this outside local and outside global, right? And this is enabled with NAT, right? What NAT is here we need to respect it, since it is of static NAT. Every individual private address needs to be assigned with the public IP, and we have a pool of IP addresses which starts from 550.0.0.1 and it goes on, right? So I have assigned 3 public IPs to visualize your NAT things. You can have a easy. So something is happening. Control F6. Configured by console. Yes. So what needs to be done is to display your IP NAT translations. Look at I have assigned public IP for each of the private addresses. This is inside local and this is inside global, right? This interface is inside local and this interface is inside global, and for every private address I have assigned a public IP, right? So look at 192.168.0.1 will be assigned with 50.0.0.1, and 2 will be assigned with 50.0.02, and 163 will be assigned with 50.0.0.3, right? And the static route was already defined, right? So what now you want to test, right? So let's go for simulation, right? So let's uncheck all the things, and I need to have only ICMP packet. Okay, let's zoom out your network. Packet is ready. So let's go for testing of packet transmission. Packet is ready to transmit. Packet reaches the switch. Now it has reached the NAT router, and NAT router will translate it as a public IP. Yes, it is reaching the next router, which is a internet service provider. There is a drop. I don't know whether we have configured all those things in router. 00 configured. Yes. Let's try for one more time. I think we haven't configured the. Yes, it works. we haven't configured the static route. Yes, so that needs to be completed in this router. So this router, I need to have a static route exit. Let's go for configuring the static route here. Yes, here static route. So I have converted this because I have a pool of 50 point address, right? So this network needs to be given. So 50.0.0.0 and with the subnet mask of 2.55.255.250, and the next hop what I'm going to use is 11.1.1.1. Alright, so to reach this is going to be the next hop. Let's add this. Okay, now it will work. So because we have configured the default route from this router to this router, and we need to define the static route from this router to this router. So that was done now, and let's check for the simulations from this router to this server. Okay, packet is transferring switch, and from switch it reaches router to router happening, and from there switch, from switch it reaches a server generates some reply and reaches switch router, and from router it will transmit to the next router. Yes, now it works. From router to switch, and from switch it reaches the source. So now when you look at the packet, you can able to see the translation happening or not, right? When you need to find this packet router 0, right? So switch to 0, right? So switch to 0, look at I need to see this packet. Look at as I said here, this is nothing but the inbound packet, right? Inbound packet, it's nothing but my source is going to be this 192.168.0.3. this is going to be the source, whereas destination is going to be the server, which is 200.0.0.0. look at this is the server. So when it reaches the next interface, right, which is nothing but translation from this interface to this interface, right? This is nothing but that interface. Here look at the source has changed, right? So this private address has changed to a public address, right? Because we have assigned that 192.168.0.3 should be used with represented with the public IP of 50.0.0.3. so that is what the change that has done here, right? Destination is same, whereas source has changed, right? Because only public IP will be routed by the routers, right? Internet routers. So private IPs cannot be used, right? So private IPs are allowed to be used only within the organization. Let's go for one more simulation so that you can able to easily understand. So let's go for 1, and it reaches server. So switch, from switch to router to router to switch, reaches server, and from server to switch, everything happening smooth. Yes, the transmission is successful. Now I need to look at the packet, right? So from switch to router 0, this packet needs to be analyzed. So when you take this packet, look at the source is going to be this packet is not needed. Switch to router, this packet is needed. Look at 192.168.0.1 is nothing but the private IP, whereas the next interface is 50.0.0.1. because we have a NAT table. In that NAT table I have the mapping, right? For every individual private address it has a individual public IP for mapping, right? For representing, for communicating with outside world, right? So that is what that is done here, right? So this is nothing but the static NAT. Static NAT is a disadvantage. It is not widely used because we have a lesser number of public IPs. So for every static for every private addresses we need a separate public address is needed. So this is not an advanced and advantage technique for you to be used in current scenario, right? So that is why we have dynamic NAT available and we have PAT available. PAT is widely used technique that we will see later. Okay, thank you.